Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so this is your homework help video. Before I get too deep into it, I do want to make a couple of announcements. The first thing, I know you've seen it on the hub. I know most of you guys have actually, probably if you're watching this video on Monday, the 11th, a lot of you guys have probably already jumped into office hours and seen me, but make sure that this week I see your name, hear your voice, see your face, one of those three things in office hours. The big reason is I just want to make sure, I think it's worth giving you a grade. I want to make sure that everybody knows how to get to office hours, right? Because, as we move through the semester, there may be some more difficult math. And I just want to make sure that everybody, if no matter what their situation is, maybe they're not starting on math until Thursday, and they don't get a chance to come to office hours, and so they end up just, I don't know, copying down answers or whatever and getting the thing turned in. I just want to make sure that everybody knows where to find office hours and how to get in, and that their computer is working with it. I know most of you guys have had to go to office hours for your cohorts, so it's probably not going to be a big deal. Just go on over to the hub, go on to our page, and just click one of these links on either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Say hello, drop your name in the chat, whatever you need to do. Those meetings are recorded, so if I happen to be super busy during the office hour that you come by, I'll still be able to see that you were there. But the best way is probably flip on your camera, wave to me, I'll see your face, you'll get your 100, okay? All right, now your other assignment this week is this function inverses. I don't want to make you guys do the ones where you're graphing, right? So you only have to do up to number 16, okay? I don't think that this is going to give you guys much trouble at all. Most of you guys are really strong with your algebra skills as far as like manipulating an equation around, so I don't think that this will be too bad at all. But I do just want to make sure you understand the directions on these, and then do a couple of examples. Okay. So let's look at the first problem. Actually, no, let's look at the second one. I think the second one's probably going to bring up more questions than anything else. So the question is, right, if you look at the instruction, it says state if the given functions are inverses, right? So our answer is either going to be yes or no. Yes, they are inverses. Yes, if I take this f of n function and I flip it all the way around, I will get the g of n function. That's what they're asking, right? They want to know yes or no. Are these two things inverses? So I think the best way is choose one of them, choose one of the functions, either g or f, and solve for its inverse and see if it matches the other one. Okay, inverse is something that works both ways, right? So if you undo an inverse, you're going to end up right back where you were. So you can choose either one, and if you take the inverse of one, you should get to the other. Otherwise, the answer would be no. All right, so I'm going to do the, let's see, the top one's got -12, -2, and I think I'll do the top one. Working with a 2 is going to be easier than working with a 6. So I'm going to take the inverse of that top one. All right, so the top function on number 2, the g function is g of n equals -12 minus 2n over 3. And so I'm going to take the inverse of this. Now, you can do this the way that was on the notes, or you can do it the way that I kind of showed you in the video lesson. What I like to do is I take the x, the independent variable, in this case it's an n, right, and the y, or the dependent variable, in this case it's a g of n, and I like to switch them, right? So I'm going to make this, instead of y, it's going to be x, or in this case, instead of g of n, it's going to be n. So we've got... and then I'm going to put in my y right there for n, okay? Now I just solve for y. I get y by itself just like I would normally when working with a function. I want the y by itself. In order to get rid of the fraction, I think I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay, so now I've got 3n is equal to -12 minus 2y, right? Because the 3's will cancel out, and so now I don't have a fraction anymore. That's nice. Okay, I think next I need to add 2 to both sides in order to get this -2y by itself. All right, and so I got 3n plus 2 equals -2y. All right, and then to get y by itself, finally, I will divide by a -2. Divide everything by a -2. Okay, so it looks like I get or I get, you know, y is equal to, if I was looking at the inverse here, y is equal to 3n plus 2 over negative 2. Okay, so this does not match what they have for this function, for this function's inverse, right? Now you do want to double check, right? I just want to double check and make sure that that these aren't the same things, just written differently, right? But in this case, they're not, right? The 6 over the 5 is not going to be the same as the 3 over the 2. We've got a negative in the wrong place. So these are fairly different, right? And so I think our answer here is going to be no. And of course, you can check that answer on the hub. Okay. So that's what you're doing on these, on numbers 1 through 8, is you are saying yes or no, this is the function's inverse or it is not the function's inverse, okay? Now, I do want to show you guys on number 5 and 6, you'll see the cube roots or the cubes. When you're undoing a cube, you do a cube root, and when you're undoing a cube root, you cube it, right? So that's a good thing to remember so that you can make sure that you're doing those right. Perhaps as an example, I will do number 11. That way we can kind of see that in action. So let's do number 11. And then I think I'll be done with the homework help. I think I'll just do 2, especially since everybody is going to come by office hours this week. So. And again, you don't have to stay and do your work. You don't have to stay and ask a question, but I do need you to just stop in and say hello. And that's just for me to make sure that I know that everybody knows how to get to office hours. Okay. So on this one, I'm going to be finding the inverse of 2x cubed plus 3. Okay, so again, I'm going to switch x and y. So this is basically y, right? That's the same thing as y. And this is x, right? So I'm going to switch these two. Okay, so now I've got x is equal to 2y cubed plus 3. Okay, now let's get y by itself so that it looks like a normal function. All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have to do is subtract 3. All right, so my 3 and negative 3 go away. So over here I've got x minus 3 equals 2y cubed. Okay, now I'm going to deal with the cube here in a minute, but first I'm going to do a divided by 2 to sort of get that by itself there. So that'll work there. So now I'm looking at x minus 3 over 2 is equal to y cubed. So let me write that out. X minus 3 over 2 is equal to y cubed. All right, now how do I get rid of a y cubed? The way that I get rid of the cube is by taking the cube root. All right, I have to do that on both sides. All right, remember this little number here is called the index, and it tells us like what kind of root it is, a square root, a cube root, a fourth root. So this is a third root. The cube root and the cube cancel each other out, and so here I'm left with y, which is what I wanted. And this I can't really simplify a whole lot. This is just going to be x over 3, or x minus 3 over 2 under a cube root sign. So this is our inverse, all right? Another way, I do want to show you that you can check these using Desmos. So if I pull up a Desmos, I've already got this one graphed. So here is that original question, right? I guess I can make it h of x to match. Okay, so we'll make it h of x. And then, so this is our original function here in blue. You'll notice that it's got that cubic function where it turns twice, okay? And then here is that inverse. And you'll notice how cool of a pattern this makes. This is, you know, using inverses is a really cool way to make that Desmos art that, you know, you guys, I guarantee you in pre-cal, you guys will be doing some kind of project or, you know, little assignment where you'll have to make a picture by controlling domain and range and using different functions. And so you can see how you can make some pretty cool shapes, some pretty cool designs using inverses here. Now just to double check, remember we talked about in the video lesson how the intersection point should be a point where x and y are the same. That tells us that we have effectively switched x and y, right? If the only point where they are the same is where x and y were the same, right? So that's the only point where the function is still going to exist when you switch x and y. You can also see here that we've got our line y equals x. That is a good reflection or reflector for that. Okay, I think I'm good there. I think I've got plenty of time left, but I think I'm gonna let you guys do the rest of those. I only gave you 16 problems this week, so I want to leave them all for you to do. So 14 more to go. Please be checking your answers on the hub. Please let me know what you need. Come into office hours. Again, I'll show you that office hours schedule. Monday at 2, Tuesday at 2, Wednesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. All right. If I don't see you on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday during office hours, I'm probably going to be sending you a remind message Wednesday night or Thursday morning. I don't want to have to give you guys a 0 for not jumping into office hours. So please make sure that you jump in and say hello, check in, get that pre-100. All right. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week 7. Semester is really winding down now. It should be beautiful weather this week, so make sure that you spend some time outside. Love you guys. Don't do drugs. Talk to y'all later. Bye.